Well, good morning from Tokyo, good afternoon from the US, and good evening from Bermuda. Welcome to the Validus Re BFLA Next Generation Career Show live here on islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Bass, and I'm joined by the founding member, the president, the CEO, the everything of BFLA, Mr. David Bascom, and we're also joined by members of the BFLA family, both in the US and in Bermuda. First of all, I want to give these youngsters, Mr. Bascom, an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we will discuss what the program of Next Generation Career Show is all about. So I'm going to start with you, Adam.
I'm Adam, and I've been playing soccer for 6 years. That's from travel soccer. I played like a few years before I started, and I live in Bel Air.
Okay. Solomon, we've just lost Brianna, but Solomon?
My name's Solomon Zoo. I'm 17. I've been playing football since the age of 4, and I started playing for PHC back in, I wouldn't say M1.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see if Brianna is able to join us back, but we will bring her in when she does get back. Mr. Bascom, BFLA has been, over the years, working, developing not just the youth footballer, but the person as a youth, giving them all sorts of ideas and confidence in how you structure your way of mentoring and coaching. Tell us a little bit about the idea of the Validus Re BFLA Next Generation Career Show that will be here on a regular basis.
Yes. First of all, I really appreciate your time, as I know it's probably 5 or 4 in the morning there.
5.
Yeah. Well, 5 in the morning, and actually, Brianna just came in. Did you want to introduce herself?
Yeah, let's jump into Brianna. Can you just briefly give us your kind of small bio, if you can? Just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm 13 years old. I play for AFC. I don't know what else to say. Sorry.
Okay. You'll be okay. Don't worry.
Brianna, that's okay. Listen, that's okay, right? This is what, and we're just jumping into on how this was all formed, what it looks like, and what it's for, right, Mr. Basin? So, how this all formed is that we had 20 young men was going to be traveling with me with Mr. Carl Roberts coming up to Baltimore, and what happened is that through COVID, I had to go to Bermuda and actually do the 1-week camp, and then they're going to be traveling up here later. The part of this process was about their career journey, right? Building something that they can actually and choose for their success. So what we have done is that we let the young people build it, right? We let the young people come up with the name, as you was there, Mr. Bazin, so you can attest to this, okay? And then we talked about direction, right? What this direction would look like from, and what type of tools. Being also mindful that a lot of the players, and even players outside of this conversation, may not be just on a soccer or football journey, okay? It could be just having a career, a job. And the idea for this, Validus Re Next Generation Show journey for future stars is to help give our young people some tools for their success, developing players for their success, and also giving tools to other young people. So tonight the plan was we talk about objectives, right? Will be a part of the process tonight, and how do we create objectives or goals, okay, for their success. So I'm excited about it, and it's really it really warms my heart, because when I get young people in a conversation together, some will get nervous, which I'm going to tell them tonight. Listen, you're going to get nervous. It's okay, right? This is a part of our development. And because, Mr. Basin, we have actually some young people from Baltimore, okay, and then Bermuda, and then we're gonna have some young man that's a part of BFLA. That's living in England. It's a great network, so we want to give them some tools for their success. So I'm really excited about this journey.
Yeah. Let me get back to Brianna. Brianna, what got you started into football, and what excites you about the game that's got you so interested?
Well, I started when I was little. I don't really know. I think my mom played, so I started playing, but I really love football or soccer or whatever because I like the competition and I like being able to show people that even though I'm small, I'm short, I can still be great at something.
That's good to hear. That is really good to hear. How old did you say you were? 11?
I'm 13.
Yeah, 13. Oh, okay. Now, we see the development of the women's game in the U.S. How much do you see yourself in the future representing the country? Because that's ultimately got to be everyone's goal and ambition, isn't it? Other than becoming a pro at it.
Yeah, I hope that one day I could, but I also have other dreams in mind that might become more important when I'm older.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, one of the things that this show is going to do for just about everyone is allow them to learn how to express themselves, and I'm glad you have those options open at the age of 13. So, Adam, how long have you been involved in football, and what type of things do you want, like Brianna, to achieve, whether it be in the professional world of football, representing the country, or anything else in general?
Yeah, I would like to go as far as I can with it. I want to represent USA, and I've been playing soccer for about 10 years now.
Okay, good stuff. We're joined now. How are you, young man? Welcome.
Morning, I'm good, thanks.
Good, good. Just introduce yourself so people get to know who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Nikenji Durham. I'm from Bermuda, and I play for Somerset Trojans. I'm 17, and I'm just looking forward to this journey.
Okay, all right. Right. Well, Mr. Bascom, you invited me to your camp about 2 weeks ago. Um, this is not the same young man we saw there.
No,
This,
no, no.
you can tell he's a bit nervous, but
Yes.
by the end of the show, he's going to be the person we talk to, who put up his hand and said, "I'll do it," and then pulled Solomon into it. So
He did pull Solomon in and says, "Yeah, Solomon."
yeah. But Kenji, tell us a little bit about what you experienced in the camp, the week-long camp with the BFLA program.
Yeah, the camp it was really nice. It was nice to meet new people, and we did a lot of new stuff that I had never really seen before or been exposed to, and just before like the drills and stuff, and that's the other stuff that we did in the gym. And
Okay, all right. And Solomon, how do you think this program helps you um, develop and grow as a person, not just as a footballer, but as a person?
Because it does both, truthfully. Because we do football drills at the camp and leadership and goals, stuff like that. For even if you don't want to play football after this, just other stuff you can do in life to help you proceed.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you guys came up with this name for this particular show. Mr. Bascom threw out words, and the interaction that I saw was quite pleasing because kind of everybody was involved in it, and even right now to the color scheme that we will, once we get the logos up and running, we'll be sharing on this show regularly. But Mr. Bascom, getting kids to engage and making them feel like they are a part of something, how important is that for any type of leadership program that involves youngsters?
Yeah, it's very important because to get them to engage, you got to know who they are, and you have a short window. Okay, having the ability to coach professional, I'm still finding myself doing this with adults. Okay, you got to be able to engage. You got to be able to connect, because once you connect, they're able to trust you, and some young people will have to trust you by default. So when you're looking at the personality traits in young people, or personality traits in people, at a whole, your dominant, influential, steady, or compliant, we have all four. But the reality is that how do I get a dominant personality young player connect to me, right? How do I get them to trust me? How do I get a young person that's compliant personality shows that more? How do I get them to trust me? And I have to be very mindful. So I have to learn these kind of little tools, because it's important, because not all young people can be taught the same. So I had to be mindful, but you have to also give them a stakeholder, right? Give them a stakeholder like this show. Solomon, Dom, Matthew, all of them, they had a stakeholder, from color scheme to logo, everything. And when you give them a stakeholder, they become emotionally and socially connected to it. So before we know it, Mr. Bazin, we know they're going to be hosting the show, right? They're going to be hosting. And that's one of the reasons. And when I was talking to and I know we briefly talked about Validus Re, but that's one of the things is that I wanted them to really understand, and this is why this partnership is great, is because they're all about the journey of young people, okay? But not just supporting us, they are partner, because what they're seeing is that they want our young people to grow, and as long as we can have accountability to everything that we're doing. And this is where the show is going to bring, right? Some accountability to the growth of our young players. I mean, we have all together between Baltimore and Bermuda, we got about 65 players in this age group of this journey, from 12 going all the way up to 17, 18. So this is why I'm really excited about it, because they are responsible now for the growth, and not them for themselves, but also other people.
Yeah. Well, we got an opportunity to put together a video for this program, and we want to bring it to you right now. Here we go. Yeah, that's just part of the video that kind of puts together this show. But I asked before, and let me ask you, Solomon, sitting there watching what you guys were engaged in, out of school but in school type of thing. How does that make you feel as a player?
I thought it was good. It was nice to see the things that we did, bring back memories and stuff we just finished. And yeah, overall, I thought it was good.
Mm. And for you, Adam, I know Mr. Bascom is one of those type of people that once things work, he kind of just builds on it. What is your impression of someone like Coach Bascom?
It's like my impressions are like he's somebody definitely to look up to.
Okay, all right. And
Now,
and what was your first impression of him? Let me ask you that. What was your first impression of Coach Bascom?
It's like I didn't really know him, but I knew him since he worked for the Blast. And as soon as I found out that we were working with his academy, I was kind of like whoa, like I'm gonna meet David Basco.
Wow. Okay. All right. So celebrity status. What about you, Brianna? What was your first impression of someone like Mr. Bascom?
I think I'm really excited to like be able to work with those people because he's such a amazing person. I mean, he coaches the Blast. It's so cool. And hopefully one day me or my teammates could be as high and like important as he is in the soccer community.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. What about you, Durham? What was your first impression of someone like Mr. Bascom?
I like Mr. Bascom. He's a very explosive coach. You know, you definitely always try to go to where he wants you to get at, because he's definitely trying to create opportunity for a lot of people. So you really want to get to where he wants you to be, and he really pushes you to go past your limits and always expand.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I'm gonna come to you, Solomon. What was your first impression of Mr. Bascom?
Yeah, he's a good guy. Someone that's always trying to help you learn. Even when you have a good game, he'll always tell you things you can improve on. And yeah, overall, just someone important to the Blast and Bermuda.
Mm.
So Mr. Bazin, you know what's interesting, because I'm gonna challenge our young people tonight, right? If you don't mind me, because I think it's my turn, right? I'm not sure. Because see, the one thing is that what we want these shows are Brianna, and Akenji, Solomon, and Adam. So tonight, our focus, okay, because I know Mr. Bazin, it's 5:00 in the morning. Yeah, and I am actually
10 to 6 now, 10 to 6.
Yeah, I'm his co-host, so I'm gonna wake everybody up a little bit, right? So here's what's going on, right? So every time we do the show, we're gonna have a tool. So this is gonna be like a leadership workshop, right? So because we got people listening, what we want to do, I'm gonna challenge you. Okay, so our show tonight, we're gonna be talking about building objectives or building goals, short and long-term goals, right? So here's the first thing I want you to think about. And I want you to think about, as a footballer, okay, or soccer player, I want you to tell me, one is that what goals do you have set? So what we want to do, right, is set some goals and objectives. Let me tell you what they look like. So when you're setting a goal and objectives and a short-term goal, let's say I want you to build a short-term goal for the game, for soccer, okay? And if anybody out there is listening, if you're in any other sport, think about this, right? I want you to build 3 of them. Then I want you to build 3 short-term goals. For instance, a non-athletic, right? If you like music, or if you like kind of accountant, or if you want to be in that career, right, outside of being an athlete, I want you to think about that on those goals. So my players that's here, I want you to think about, okay, give me some, first of all, any goals that you have set, that's short goals. And then I want you to tell me a long-term goal. So for instance, Adam, let me help you out, right? Because this will be an example. Adam, what do you love to do? You love to play soccer?
Yeah, I love to play soccer.
Brilliant, right, Adam? So what I want you to think about, Adam, give me a short-term goal for you to be successful in soccer, okay? Give me a short-term goal for you to be successful in soccer.
To get a higher amount of juggles than I am right now.
Awesome, right? So Adam, what I want you to do is that in that short-term goal, I want you to put in there that you want to get how many juggles, right? So what we're going to do, I want you to start building these objectives, okay? So in your juggles, to develop your soccer, you want to get 10 juggles, 20 juggles, right? And put a timeline on it, okay? Adam, what is a long-term goal, right? Well, got your short. What is a long-term goal?
A long-term goal for me is to make it to college soccer, then start thinking about pro.
Brilliant. All right. So Adam, let me tell you guys how this is going to work, right? So tonight we're looking at building objectives. Then we're going to talk about why you build them, okay? Adam, what about if you was playing a game tomorrow? What would be one of your objectives you think that you can put in for your game to get you prepared for the game?
One of my objectives will be because I play wing, try to get like 5 assists or something in one game.
Excellent, man. That's what we're talking about, right? So, Adam, here's what it looks like. And for Dom, Brianna, and Solomon, all right? So what this looks like. When you build these small goals, let's say we're playing a game, guess what happens? Even if you lose the game, you got to go back to your objectives, right? Because your objectives is what holds you and keeps you grounded so you don't get frustrated. Let's say, Adam, you lose the game tomorrow, 7-0, right? The first thing you want to do is that, did I meet my objectives? Players, I'm telling you this because when I was a pro, this is what I did. I had small pieces of paper, okay? I wanted to get 15 shots in. I wanted to make sure I defend well. So, you know, I want you guys to really understand that the show is not just to hear about who you are, but give you a tool. Okay, Brianna, how you doing, Brianna? She may freeze on us. I don't know. Brianna, are you there?
Yeah, she's here.
All right, Brianna, can you tell me? What is a short-term goal for your soccer? Do you have a short-term goal or something that you'd like to reach?
Yeah, we've been working on a lot of moves, and I want to get better at the cross turn.
Okay, awesome, right? So hold up, Brianna, because we're gonna help each other, right? Solomon, what do you think, Brianna, to get that move done? What do you think some things she's gonna have to do, right? She says her short-term goal, she wants to get this move done, right? What's something you can give her that can kind of like let her know? Because Solomon, what the audience don't know is that you're looking to go pro. Okay, that's the journey that you want to take. Okay, and me and Solomon had a conversation about this. Okay, so Solomon, what's some things that you can give Brianna? She wants to learn this move. What's something you can tell her? She wants to get this move done. Yeah. What's something that what advice can you give her from a young person and saying, Brianna, hey, this is what you got to work on, right? Is there any advice?
Just consistency. If you want to learn how to do something, then just keep going at it, and eventually you'll learn. It's all up to you how much you want it. So if you keep doing it, then you'll learn. Because I remember at your age, I wanted to learn the move, and I just kept doing it, and I eventually learned how to do it. And it's part of my game now. So.
It's awesome, Solomon. Mr. Bazin, so you know, a part of what we're gonna do, right? And this is why I love this show, because it's gonna look different. And I know you may think like staring at me like I'm crazy. I know you're still sleeping, right? So
no, I'm wide awake. Trust me.
All right, good. Adam, you know, the question I have for you, and before we get to the Kenji, is that when Solomon says being consistent, what you think, Brianna? Like, what's some things that can help her to be consistent? Like, should she build a schedule? Like to say, I'm gonna do this 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Like, what you think? What that means to help Brianna out?
And it means like keep on like doing what you're doing, and like you said, kind of like a build a schedule. So like you're gonna do it for like 5 minutes a day, and then it's like, and plus one thing you can do is like keep your head up and still work on it. Because there's old stuff you can get better at, even that same move you can get better at.
Awesome. So Brianna, you got some advice, right? Yeah, you got some advice, because listen, guys, when we finish this, we always want to make sure that we leave this conversation, okay, with some tools. Dom, do you have any short-term goals? I know them, but what are your short-term goals as a footballer or soccer player? Yeah, what are some short-term goals for your success?
Right now, one of my short-term goals is to get called up for the Somerset Trojan senior team.
That's awesome. Somerset is going to be happy. Listen, I'm not saying nothing to you. So Adam and Brianna, I just want to let you know, right? They're talking about they called it Silver City in Bermuda, right? The Somerset.
Brass now. It's brass.
It's brass. They got brass now. Listen, and I
normally get a message from Dennis Brown, but
Yes.
it's Brass City now. It's
But I
not
will,
Silver
in
Note.
all respect to this group and this area, right? Somerset Trojans was known to win. I talk about trophies and so much talent up there. So
Mhm.
Adam and Brianna. So I know where you guys in Maryland, right? So when Dorm says that, Kenji says he wants to play on that team, that's a big thing. That's like playing for the Blast, right? I just want to let you know that's what that looks like because there's so much history. Solomon, you know that I'm coming to you last because your journey looks different, right?
Yeah.
Solomon, what is your short-term goal, okay, for soccer or football, right? What does that look like for you, Solomon? And, because that's important, right? Because we had this conversation. What does that short-term goal look like for you?
To just physically and mentally prepare myself for December, because obviously we're going away. Some of us, the Bermudian guys, going out to Baltimore with your team and stuff, and I just want to mentally and physically prepare myself for that. That's a short goal for me.
Okay.
That is awesome.
How do you plan to prepare for that outside of what you're doing with a team environment? Will you be doing extras, or how do you plan to prepare for that?
Yeah, doing extras and stuff that I can do by myself, like going outside and running, playing football, just doing more to stay fit and, mentally prepare for what I want to do.
Now, Mr. Bassam, you've asked them quite a few questions regarding the short-term and long-term goals, but what advice would you have for them for those short-term? Because obviously, with Solomon 17, Durham 17, and the other two quite young, time is still on their side to decide what they want to do. But with those short-term goals, time is not always on the side because they have set them for themselves. So what advice would you have?
Yes. So my players, here's where we are, right? You got Brianna and Adam, who's in the U.S. Okay, so these options look different, right? For success, I've seen so many things. My players in Bermuda, we only have 62,000 people, very small. So the finding is that when they travel, they get to experience things. What is a short-term goal, my young people, right? When you build a short-term goal, you got to make sure you really have some direction to it. And Adam, like you said, right? Let's build a schedule. The first thing you want to do with your short-term goal is build a schedule, and you're going to have to be made accountable, right? So for instance, Solomon, you want to go play pro, okay? So your short-term goal is going to be, one of the things that it can be is that, you know what? Okay, I got my evaluation. I know I need to work on 1, 2, 3, 4. Set that timeline. If you mentioned December, right? Looking to come up to me in December to train with my team, you got to now see, okay, where do I want to be at that time? Okay. And listen, this goes for also if you like different, careers outside of soccer. So Brianna, tell me what else you'd love to do outside the game. Anything you'd love to do, anything that sparks your interest.
Okay, this is going to sound a little weird, but I like to do math, just for fun.
Brianna, that's awesome. Let me tell you why that's awesome. Do you realize that even when you're playing the game, mathematics is used, right? It's the language. So when you're playing the game, we code it like understanding, the complexity when we're doing zones or spacing, right? Math is used. Do you know that if for instance, when I signed my first contract, if I didn't know no math, I was in trouble, right? So listen, there's nothing wrong with that. So you may want to get into accounting. And you remember you're still young, like Mr. Bazin said, right? You guys, the one thing is that, and the tool I can give you a part of building your goals and objectives. And for anybody out there listening, there's 3 stages to our learning, no matter what it is. If it's on the field, if it's off the field. The first thing you have to do is understand everything that you're doing. Brianna, if it's mathematics, you have to understand it, right? Understand it. Nakenji, goalkeeping. Okay, you're a very good goalkeeper. Understand the drills you're going through. Solomon, Adam, you guys are doing your drills. Solomon, I know you like taking on players, understanding what you're doing. This is your learning curve in the classroom. The second thing, you got to be able to relate it. Okay, Brianna, can you relate your mathematics and the love for mathematics? Think about how you can actually like merge that with soccer, right? Think about how the game of soccer or football can be merged with mathematics. So relating to what you're learning is the most important thing. So what does relation look like? Adam, if you was to get these moves down and learn all these awesome moves like Brianna's learned the move, you understand the move, but you got to be able to relate it. So this means is that even if you're pulling down videos and understanding, okay, let me see this move in the video, because you got to see it happening over and over and over, right? It's like that math problem, Brianna, right? Solomon, it's like when I'm teaching you guys awareness, you got to be able to relate it. Then guess what's next? Now can you use it? Brianna, did you ever think that you could possibly use this math in training? Did you ever think about that, right?
Yeah, she muted herself. Just unmute, okay. Brianna.
All right. So you guys, everything that you're doing, get Brianna, did you ever think that you could possibly use mathematics in actually soccer training?
I mean, it never really came across me. Like, I just think soccer, and then I think school. Okay. I don't really connect them. So I think that is.
Well, guess what? I want you to start connecting, right? So, for instance, if I tell you, okay, Brianna, I want you to kind of build a box. I want a 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet, or 20-yard box, right? That's how it's connected, right? So I want you to be very aware. Closing down a ball, Brianna, if you're defending, right? Close down a 10-yard pass. You close that ball down. So I want you to think, and I want you to really get connected and share. So my players is that, and Mr. Bays, I know you mentioned about, right, we want to make sure we're giving them tools, having a use of what you do, being able to do it in a game, being able to do that move in a game, and that's your third part, right? So you got understanding what you're doing, relating to what you do, and your last one is that having a complex use. Solomon, we trained all this time, in this camp. Can you use what you're doing? If you go from understanding a drill, understanding something, and try to have a use of it without relating it, there's not going to be, you may fall in inconsistency, right? So always, and that's why we tell young people, focus on the fundamentals, stay with it, so you can have a longer journey of success. Yeah?
Mr. Bascom, interesting, Brianna talks about mathematics, and a lot of people don't realize how much that is trained in your brain when playing any sport, let alone it be football or soccer. A distance of a pass, you have to physically know whether or not you can make a 40-yard pass. So that comes with training. Free kicks around the box. That, okay, I've got to be able to hit this ball around this wall or over the top of the ball. So what is my distance? How far does that ball have to go over the wall to start dipping? All of that is mental training. A lot of people don't utilize it that way, but if you continuously train at it, it becomes a natural thing. So in math, you can use it as well as Mr. Bascom, you talked about spacing. So if the coach says, close down that 10-yard space, but don't go past 7 yards to close it down in training, then you have to realize, what does that 3 yards look like? What does all of that look like? If not, you're getting out of sync. So as much as we talk about just it being a game, it is also a part of life, and you're learning different things along the way that you could utilize in life outside the field. So if you look at it, Solomon, you say you play for PHC, and of course Doran plays for Somerset on the local side. But when you guys get together in the BFLA program, what do you take back to your clubs to try and encourage others to come to just to see what it's like with regards to the program itself, Solomon?
There's a lot of things to take in mentally. Because we learned a lot of things about awareness and stuff. That's something I feel like I could work on. I can bring when I go play. Awareness, yeah, I'd say that.
And Brianna, I've got to ask, for the girls programs, how do you think you have benefited from being a part of this program over the few years that you've been a part of it?
Well, Brianna, before you answer that, Brianna and Adam, they just joined as what we do here. We just partnered with them. Yeah, so we just partnered with them. So AFC and Adam, they're both apart. So they just joining. So this will be Yeah, so it'd be kind of maybe tough for them to, because now they're in this new journey, right? They just started
Right.
halfway with us. Yep.
Okay. So let me ask you, Mr. Bascom, what's significant about the combination of where they're coming from and joining on to the BFLA, being a part of it?
Yes.
What's significant about this team, this combination?
Yes, and the significance that I want our young people to learn to engage and network, right? The game for me, I've been able to travel around the world, but it's been a networking, right? Able to network. So for instance, Brianna, and which I'm going to ask them right now. So you threw it into my next question. Basically, you know, what's spot on today. I want to ask them, and here's the significance. Adam, Solomon, Brianna, and Nakenji, I want you to share. And Nakenji, I'm going to have you go first, right? I want you to share with the rest of us, okay, with Brianna, Solomon, and Adam. I want you to share something of one of your strengths. What's one of your strengths that you have? It can be as a footballer or soccer player, or just you as a person. But I want you to also share weakness, okay? Something that you feel, and not so much a negative side, right? Let's go to this. What are your strengths and what are opportunity for growth that you need to continue to work on, right? So it's not so punitive. So Nakenji, share with us that one of your strengths, okay, and then something that you feel you need to grow in. You're sharing this with, you know, Brianna, Solomon, and Adam.
Okay, for one of my strengths in football, I feel like is shot stopping, like having good reflexes and just diving and catching and stuff. And for one of my weaknesses, I think, is talking to the back line and just giving instructions, because there might be stuff on the field that I can see that they can't, you know, and I might not be able to get it out in time, or I might just not say it at all.
Brilliant.
Mm.
Adam?
One of my strengths is definitely my control, because I can control it around people and stuff. But one of my weaknesses is definitely my left foot.
The left peg, huh? Yeah, Mr. Earl Bisden had an awesome left foot, right? I just want to let you know that. Yeah.
It was one I used to stand on.
Yes, that's his standing leg. That's his standing leg, you guys. Brianna, what is one of your strengths, right? And what are some things that opportunity that you feel you can grow in?
I think one of my strengths are passing. I try to pass. I'm not always passing. I sort of ball hog, so that's something that I need to work on. But when I see I like dropping back, I think I'm good at doing that and getting it over.
Awesome. Solomon.
I'd say one of my strengths would be taking a player on. Like I feel like I can get past pretty much anyone, but that's also like a weakness in some sort because sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much, and just composure can be a weakness sometimes. I'll just find the right pass or putting the ball in the right place for someone or as a shot or anything.
So Mr. Bascom, you've asked them how do you, as a coach, or through the program, help them to strengthen that weakness?
Yeah, that's the key, right? Because most of these young men and women they got different coaches, right? But the good thing is that all of them, we have full connection with them. And the first thing is that once we know and we do an evaluation on their skills, okay, and we continue to have these conversations, right, where they're actually letting you know, here's what I'm strong at, here's my opportunity for growth. Then what we do is build these kind of programs around them, right, so they can develop that. The key to all this is that it's not just soccer, it's not just football, right? We have to find out is that what's some other weaknesses, right? We have had players that's been a part of our program where we ask these questions. some of the, the weaknesses maybe, for instance, let's take, Nakenji. Nakenji's weakness is that what he told you of things he wants to strengthen up is communicating, right, to the back line. This means is that he's got to be comfortable in engaging. To have comfort in engaging, he has to learn about the systems of play or the structure. This means is that when a coach, and we're coaching Nakenji, Coach Roberts is actually taking him, is taking the group. And then it's a matter of making sure that he understands relating and having to have the complex use, because we're asking him as a goalkeeper to direct the flow, direct traffic, and communicate. Yeah. So that's what's set. And this is why, like, I'm so excited about the show, because getting them to continue to share with each other, right? They have to continue to share, and it's good that we listen. So a part of the show is getting to know them, but also a part is making sure they're leaving with a tool. Yeah?
Right. Definitely. But let me ask each of them, and I'm going to start with you, Adam. When you heard you were coming on the show, were you nervous, or what was your concerns about being live, not just in Bermuda or not just in the U.S., but globally?
Yeah, I was definitely nervous when I came on the show, but now it's like kind of like now I'm doing it. It's like, and now I'm thinking it's like not that bad.
You're more comfortable now?
Yeah, definitely more comfortable than when I started.
Well, let me just tell you, since you started some 41 minutes ago, you're actually, I could see you're more relaxed now. The shoulders have dropped. You're comfortable. You're not worried. So let me come to you, Brianna. Were you kind of nervous about coming on here, and what were your concerns about coming on?
The same thing as him. I was nervous, but I'm definitely a lot more comfortable now that it's been almost 45 minutes.
Yeah. What advice would you have for the next group of young ladies that will be asked to join? What would you tell them?
To don't overthink it, because like they're also like I'm talking to other people and we all get nervous, so it's not that big of like a deal.
Great stuff. Nice. What about you, Durham? What were you concerned about?
Just getting all my words out and just answering the question the best way that I can answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And for you, Solomon?
I wasn't really worried about anything. I just see it as another opportunity to get myself out there. I think it's a good opportunity, so I'm fine.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
So
One day, Mr. Baskin, we see confidence now.
Yeah, you see him, right? You see, you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to get off and they're like, man, I should have said this. Listen, you guys, I applaud you, right? Earl, I want to kind of share with you so the people, the viewers understand this is not just like a show that we're doing, once a month, but I want to give them an idea of what all the young people that's coming on is going through, okay? So just so we know is that, we're meeting every every other Sunday, okay, we are meeting, and those meetings is actually, Valdez leadership workshops, okay? So all of them are on the same journey. We done an introduction the other night, the last Sunday, and it was actually good. We had probably about 42 players in. Okay, all together we're gonna have about 50 plus. And once I start including also the BFLA young girls in Bermuda, so that's gonna go on for the next 7 to 8 months. Okay, so the shows our workshops are basically gonna run around. What is your why? What is your purpose? Finding your colleges. And yes, at this young age, this has to be the focus. Helping them build our football, soccer YouTube videos, right? These are part of the workshops. We done an introductory on Sunday, so now we're actually kind of getting everything going. Once we hit our next date, which is August the 1st. The next thing that we're doing, is that I actually got a show that's not so much a show, but a workshop for the parents. Okay, so we have basically our parent leadership. and the parents will be coming on and going with MedStar. Okay, MedStar Health is actually one of our supporters. Like, for instance, every last Thursday of each month, I think our next one's going to be the 29th. And we may have to rethink that because we got cup match, right? We got St. George's who's going to get the cup back. So I got to make sure I focus on that. Okay,
Yeah.
Brianna Adam has no idea what that is, right? So that's going to be on the 29th, and that's going to be basically giving parents and players tools. For instance, we're talking about strengthening, core strengthening. We're talking about spinal injuries, concussion. And then after that, Coach Roberts, for the players that's in Bermuda, that's coached by Coach Roberts, okay, every other Sunday. And the players that's up here, that have been coached through, AFC or BFLA, and we support the AFC club. So, and then we got these shows that's going to be on, if I'm correct, Mr. Basin, it's every third or every third Wednesday.
Every third Wednesday of the month.
Yes. So we'll be sharing all the workshops. So as we go through this, now it's going to be all the workshops I've been through. That's going to be the conversation piece that we'll be talking about. And in those conversations, we'll be giving young people tools. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be interesting because once we get going, I'll be in the blast season in November. So, I may have some great days, Mr. Basin. Or I may have some bad days, especially if we're losing games, right? And then I'm going to have Brianna and Adam that's going to be looking at me like I'm crazy because I may have just lost a game. Like, okay, Coach Bascom, what you're about to do now, right?
Yeah.
So, no, that's where the direction of everything is going. And I wanted the show to be a platform for young people because what I'm looking for us to do is that we now go in the background and let them take over the show, right?
Yeah. That's eventually the goal that we want for this. Them to host and then to be on the platform and do it and in a leadership capacity. So that's what we're looking forward to. But you mentioned something that I really want to address. How important is it that the parents are involved in this journey and understand in giving them the support that they need in order to fulfill the dreams that they have, whether it be in the sport or out of the sport?
Yeah, first of all, I want to let especially the young people that's on tonight and young people that's listening, right? You would need to, at every given time, hug your parents, tell them you love them. Because let me explain something to you, right? You realize that the parents have been the first of the line to help with your success. If it's getting you to camps, if it's sending you to England, if it's sending you on trips, paying for your uniforms, right? Give you these opportunities. I want you to understand that they have played a huge part, and continue to move. I'm a parent myself, and I know what it costs nowadays, but I also know is that, for instance, giving you private classes, lessons, going to things. So I want you to understand and appreciate that, my young people, right? You have to appreciate that. The other thing, is that I want the parents now to understand that their engagement is huge. I want them to treat football, soccer programs, or any program that young people is in as if they're treating it if there's going to a new school, right, or education. So what am I saying here is that parents, the more information you can gather, ask the same questions if your young person was in a classroom with a teacher. Going to a school for the first time, the first thing you're going to ask, what are the standards here? Okay, you're going to ask about the teacher. You're going to look for background. You're going to look for, where is the opportunity for growth? I want them to ask the same questions with football or soccer programs. This is so important because they should align together. There should be a huge accountability today because when we're looking at Adam, Solomon, Brianna, and Dom, Nakenji, we got to make sure is that we're making ourselves, parents, make us accountable. If they're going to prep schools, if they're going into regular schools, high schools, whichever, they're going for sports, the clubs, what team they play for, ask the questions that's going to cause some accountability for these young people to grow. These classes we're giving you, parents, join in on them. Join in on the class when we're talking about what is your why and what is your purpose. Entrepreneur classes we're giving to young people. And when you have the opportunity to jump on the MedStar Health, please get on them because they're for you, right? They're tools to give you an opportunity to help you, build your toolbox for success for your young people as well.
Well, that's great to hear. And I'm looking forward to these every third Wednesday shows because I'm going to learn a lot from these young people. They are the future.
Yes.
We've created a path for them to be able to express themselves and show the world what direction they want to go in individually, even though they're right now in a team sport. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm excited about it because I think anyone that tunes in will get a lesson. And obviously, the next batch that come on are going to want to outdo the ones that
You know that's going to happen
on week in and week out, because now it becomes competition amongst your teammates. I said this and I said that, and I want to do this and I want to do that. So we're looking forward to speaking with them and gaining what they want to get out of life, both on and off the field. And I'm really encouraged by it.
Now, for the players, I really appreciate you guys. Is there anything that, before you leave, I'm going to ask everyone, so you better think about it quick. And Salman, I'm coming to you first, right? You're the oldest. Anything that you want to leave, or anything that you want to leave, if it's a young person out there listening, what would you tell them? Anything. Solomon could be anything, right? So Solomon, I'm coming to you first.
Just work hard and believe in yourself.
Nice. Adam, come on, Adam. What you got?
I would tell everybody, follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. All right, Brianna.
Gotta unmute Brianna.
Unmute Brianna. I don't know if she's froze out. Nakenji, I'll go to Nakenji.
Okay.
You're muted, Nakenji.
It would just be don't give up. Keep pushing yourself to be the best that you can be, and whatever you want to do, don't let people tell you that you can't do it.
Stop. Brianna's back, David.
All right.
Okay. Nothing will change if you don't work hard in practice. Practice will make the progress you want to see.
Brianna, I love. See, she saved that one.
Saved it to last. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that, right? I'm gonna have to tell my friends that.
You gotta write that one down.
I'm gonna write that one down. I'm gonna have to kind of text Brianna and say, "Listen, I gotta get that from you." Guys, and Mr. Bays, I know you're gonna have a final word, but I just want to really kind of say to my young people here and everybody listening, the next generation, right? This is the next generation, and the future. The journey for future stars. I want to say thanks to Validus Rear Game, because I've been such a strong supporter of everything I'm doing. Mr. Bays, I'm gonna tell you, man, this is mental. But they and you're talking about like being a part, right? And being a part of the moment. And I'm so happy that we're able to do this, right? I'm really so happy that we're able to do this. And my players, I listen I wish you really well, and really looking forward to this journey with you. And I'm going to see you on August 1st. I will see you on August 1st. And Mr. Bays, and I have them coming on. How young people, they get on like these workshops or these kind of Zooms, and they don't want to put the cameras in. Oh, that's a non-negotiable. They all have to have a camera. And Brianna, if I remember, I think she was in a car. She's actually driving, right? Well, she wasn't driving. Her parents were driving. She's the passenger side. And I'm like, okay, I think that's Brianna in the car. I think she's kind of – so I really appreciate, really that participation. I mean, to get young people in this age bracket and have 42 players on, I mean, it was awesome. It was really awesome.
And that's great to hear. And again, as you said, David, I would end it. And I, again, want to also thank Validus Re. They see – what you're doing for the future generations, not just in Bermuda, but for all youngsters, no matter where they come from, no matter what their background is. And I want to applaud them for going out on a limb for our young people, and continue to support, your ventures and your programs. And to you youngsters, I want to say I am encouraged by what I've heard today. I am really, really impressed with how you've handled yourselves, and I want to encourage you to continue to do so and become the leaders that I know you can be. And remember, there's always going to be someone watching, always going to be someone listening. So remember to be on your P's and Q's at all times on what you're saying, what you're doing, because it can affect the rest of your life. And having been here with me today, I know for sure that you guys' backgrounds, your family support, will only encourage you and allow you to get better and stronger. So again, thank you very much. And to everyone, good morning in Tokyo, good afternoon in USA, and good night in Bermuda.